Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the Scottish Government how it will improve connectivity on the islands of Arran and Cumbria ahead of the busy summer tourist season.
Cabinet Secretary.
I understand that the news yesterday from CalMac advising that the expected return date for MV Caledonian Isles is now August will be frustrating for the community. I continue to urge CalMac to work closely with both communities to make best use of available vessels and provide as much capacity as possible throughout this period of disruption. I welcome and support the recent statements from Sheila Gilmer on Arran and from Angus Campbell of the Cumbria Ferry Committee. Both islands remain open for business. There is passenger capacity and public transport options for both islands, and I also appreciate the patience of passengers on other routes disrupted as a consequence of this temporary vessel deployment to help support the islands he's identified.
Jamie Greene.
It goes without saying that our islands are open for business, but frustration is an underestimation of the strength of feeling on our islands. What they're actually staring down the barrel of is a summer of more chaos in their ferry network. We've got the MV Loch Shira out of action servicing Cumbria. That's causing a lot of consternation on that island. The MV Caledonian Isles will not be around this summer, and the Glen Sannox has been delayed as well. That simply leaves the Isle of Arran, which is a 40-year-old vessel and prone to break down itself. Is it any wonder that our islanders are nervous about the forthcoming summer season? Maybe I can give the Cabinet Secretary an opportunity to apologise in advance of the chaos that our government is causing.
Cabinet Secretary.
Well, if you listen to islanders, they will say it's not necessarily taken as read that the message is that our islands are open for business. And I think it's incumbent on all parties to reiterate that our islands are open for business. In terms of the deployment for the two islands that he mentioned, I did say in my original answer that there is capacity and that the passengers are able to travel. This is a challenge. We undoubtedly know that. But I think it is also important for us to identify there are 6 new vessels that will be delivered for 2026 that will support not just the islands he referred to, obviously Arran in particular, but also Isla, Little Minch, and that also have an impact across the period. I have been upfront saying that this will be a difficult time, particularly with dry docking, but let's get behind our islands, say they're open for business, and do that with a united voice.
A brief supplementary. Kenneth Gibson.
Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. Cabinet Secretary, we know that repairs to the Calais Isles are more extensive than previously anticipated. But how can anyone have any confidence in CalMac's repair timescales that have went from March to June and now August? And how can island businesses plan ahead with these constantly moving goalposts? I'm delighted that she's told everyone and reminded people that Arran is open for business. But what practical steps is the government going to take to get that message over to the wider public who only see bad news on the television and hear it in the radio and read it in the newspapers?
Cabinet Secretary.
I am acutely aware of the impact that the disruptions can have for people and businesses. However, as I stated, there is capacity. There are vessels that are being deployed to support these vital areas, and the complexity of the Calais Isles vessel's design means the repairs must be carried out in a coordinated, controlled manner, which is a highly complex repair effort. I have made it clear to CalMac that I think it would be helpful for them to be upfront and I think realistic about timescales, because that does help some kind of confidence in terms of planning. The island does remain open for businesses and services, and it will continue with the MV Isles of Arran and Alfred. Transport Scotland are urgently considering a request from the Arran Ferry Committee and CalMac to increase funding to enable full passenger capacity on MV Alfred for the period the MV Caledonian Isles is out of service. And I will continue to stress to CalMac the need to clearly communicate that that island remains open for business.